Paul, 22 years ago since Seymour Business and Call Equiname.
Yeah, amazing.
It's a long time.
Where's the time? 99. Where's the time go by? You think I'd never had a winner at Cheltenham, and then that week I had Flagship Uber, Isles, Call Equiname and Seymour Business, and just each day got better.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's just amazing memories. But started off my career, really. That was a kickstart of everything.
And what about, you know, going backwards, as we seem to be at the moment, but Kauto, Denman, Masterminded, like all those great horses.
Yeah. And,
when you think of those, like, what sort of memories does that bring back to Cheltenham?
And of course, Big Bucks who won 4 world hurdles. They were amazing horses, but obviously a lot of pressure went with those, making sure that they did performed on the day, and they were amazing memories. But they're memories, and you've got to look forward, not back, and it's great to have some horses with some fantastic chances now.
But is that what you're doing? Like, you think that's then?
Yeah.
This is now?
Yeah, I mean, it took a few years to get over. All of a sudden you've had all these wonderful horses, and they all retired, and then all of a sudden you were left a bit of a gap. But Silvernarco, Conti came along, and others. But you know, there's a gap, and you know, it's a different experience. But we're beginning to get back to having some, you know, nice horses again.
How do you reset that? Like, how do you think, right, let's find the next star?
Well, it's not that easy, as you well know. It's a fate, really. It's just keep on trying to find the right type of horses. It's not quite so easy as it was possibly back in the day when you could go and buy Kauto, and some of those horses, you know, they were a few quid, but they were all for sale, and they were quite nice. As now, there's not so many of them, or so many more people want to buy them, so you've got to try and produce them yourself from the beginning. And eventually a bit of patience and being lucky. I mean, I always think those horses find you more than any other way. Like Denman, we bought him, it was just a fluke. We were at point to point one day, and Adrian Maguire said, "Come and have a look at this horse," and he won the Gold Cup. So I think they do tend to find you, really. And then you get horses like him who looked like he was, you know, just a good average fun horse at one time. He suddenly just took off, and there he is, won King George's, and he's running in the Gold Cup. So you never know, really. Just keep at it and keep trying to find the horses. Grenadine runs in the Champion Chase. Frodon obviously runs in the Gold Cup. Bravemansgame, Politologue, Safefield Harvest.
Now you've got Frodon, who is going for gold, and he's no back number at a place that he loves.
Absolutely not. You know, he's won 6 times here, I think. I'm right in saying, and he's a King George winner. He's won a Cotswold Chase. He won a good handicap there, and he loves the place. He's definitely not a back number. You know, he's definitely in the mix there, and he just keeps surprising everybody. His enthusiasm, the way he keeps galloping, his jumping. And I have to say, I was really surprised he won the King George. I know he had a fairly soft lead, but it's the wrong way round for him in a lot of ways, and he won actually very easily with a lot in hand, and just keeps surprising us.
And is that the thing that is giving him a better chance than most people feel, because of the fact that you don't really know what's left after that?
You know, and he keeps on winning at Cheltenham, and he keeps on galloping up that hill. There's a big plus you jump and gallop around Cheltenham. It's a huge advantage. I mean, so it's exciting that he's going there. I mean, realistically, I don't expect him to win. I go there thinking he'd run a fantastic race and he'd be thereabouts. But he'd be no surprise if he did, because that's just him. The other one's dry as well. Frodon's dry, you can go. Politologue can come round then.
The Gold Cup's kind of been on his cards for a few seasons now, but he was always very strong 2.5 miler, and 3 miles was just a slight stretch for him. But this year, he's grown, he's strengthened, and he's shown that he sees out 3 miles no problem at all. So we're going to go and take it on and see what happens. Cheltenham is his playground. He's won his biggest races there, bar the King George, and he loves it. But it is a formidable race, and the tactics are going to be interesting. We're going to keep playing around with what we think we should and shouldn't do, but it will probably boil down to the end of the day when we jump off, we gallop where we're happy, and we move forward in our own rhythm, wherever that be, whether that be up front or not. You know, it's just going to see what happens. I know my team will have him in excellent condition. He'll be healthy and happy, and we'll go there in the form of our life and just go and give it a go.
And what would it mean to you?
I'll tell you if we win it crossing the line. I'll meet you at the top of the hill.
Obviously, you're going there with a reigning champion, with Politologue in the champion chase. Like, for what everybody says about the race, that's not his fault. He deserved his big day, didn't he? Yeah,
I think it was probably last year was the best I'd ever had him. We'd had a few problems with him bleeding before then. We changed our routine with him, kept him really fresh. And I said after the Tingle Creek, when he'd run disappointing, said to John, just let me go straight to Cheltenham fresh. I'll get him really right. do things differently, and I knew he was really, really well. It was a shame for him some of the others didn't run, because I think he was probably at his best that day. It doesn't matter. You win whoever in a football match. You beat who you're playing against. Same with the horses and what turns up. And he won nicely. And it was his 5th festival. He deserved to win a big one.
Yeah.
Then again, he's done really well this year, and won at Tingle Creek again. And he got beat at Ascot, but he ran well at Ascot. And probably ground it was deep enough for him looking back on it. But he's run a good solid race, and he's fresh and well again now. He's worked nicely this week, and he'll give a good account of himself again. And he's going to run his race. And
then obviously your Novice is coming through. You talked about bringing on the new stars. Well, you seem to have found one with Bravemansgame.
Yeah, I know, he's a super horse, He won a point-to-punch in Ireland, and he was a bit disappointing, some people would say, in a couple of bumpers last year, but those horses are never going to be superstar bumper horses. He's big and backward, and we did his wind in the summer, gave him time. He was beating a neck by Saw and Glory at Chepstow. And
that form looks good now.
Good, and the thing I liked about it more that day was he was a bit green, and Harry literally went half around the far side to pull him up. And so we stepped him up and tripped, and he's unbeaten since, won the Challow well, keeps improving. He's a really super horse with lots of ability. But as you said to me this morning, he'll be even better next year. He's an embryo chaser, and that'll be the exciting thing with him. But he is working great, and he's in great shape, so he should run well.
And then in the Albert Bartlett, looks like you'll have a couple in there.
Yeah. Well, Barbados Bucks is going to run. He's won his last 3, keeps improving. He's rated 143 now, which is putting him on the fringe of being a proper horse. And he's going to be a nice chaser. But you wouldn't know with him, he just keeps finding, and the triple suit him well. And 3 through under 5, he's a lovely horse. He's won 3 from 3 over hurdles. You wouldn't know what was in the locker with him. He deserves to take his chance. So there's nothing between him and Barbados Bucks at home and what they do. So 2 exciting horses that run really well.
And then in some of the other races that you've got a good record in the Fred Winter particularly, you've got probably an interesting horse in there.
Yeah, well, I've run 2 actually. Hell Red, who's had a wind up since he
won at Chepstow.
Won at Chepstow and pressed on better ground. Definitely wants better ground. He ran on heavy at Wincanton the other day, but I had to get a run into him somewhere. It might have worked in his favour, and he got dropped £3. And he's improved for that run. And a lovely horse called Houx, who was an Otoy winner. We bought him in the autumn, ran him at Christmas, a bit quick in the Grade 1, and was 3rd on heavy ground, but he's improved since then. He worked great this week, and he's 128, which is a nice mark. And I think he'd appreciate better ground than he was at Chepstow, and both those 2 could run well.
Next Destination is a horse that I really like. I just look at him and you think straight away, stay and chasing type. Yeah,
he is lovely also. I mean, he's all class. Had plenty of problems, so it was a challenge to get him even to run in one race, really. Even when he was second at Weatherby over hurdles, we were delighted because he hadn't done that much. He'd done a lot of steady work, but you wouldn't want to be galloping him too much. Got a nice routine with him. Then he's run twice over fences, won 2 Grade 2s. Grime was a bit quick the first day at Newbury, but he won well, and then Warwick was a bit sharp for him, but he was always going to find softer the ground and better next week, and he'll run well. He's obviously got Monkfish, looks a very smart horse. But
are you going in the 3 miler?
If the ground's soft, yeah, definitely. I think that's a race for him. I think we've always had that in our mind. I think neither of the races is going to be easy, to be honest with you. But I think the soft ground will suit him very well, and he's not short of speed, and what he does, he stays on really strong. Obviously, Willie's horse is going to be hard to beat, but you never should be afraid of 1 or 2 horses around Cheltenham and Novice chases. Oi! Look at him.
Maybe some of your other horses in handicaps, Paul. You've got a good record in some of the handicaps.
Yeah, we have. I think we got 2 in the Potemps final that could go quite well. Southfield's Harvest is a really nice horse in particular. I like him. He's done nothing wrong. Ran well at Newbury the other day. Probably just needed the run a bit. He's a stuffy horse. Cheltenham would suit him, and his brother actually was only beaten a neck in the race. So he's an interesting horse to run in that. And a lot of the other handicaps, you need to look at the weights a little bit and see what's what. Shantou Fly wouldn't surprise me if he ran really well in the Kim Muir. Obviously he was for David to ride, but he can't now. So I expect Angus, who rides him all the time, will probably take the 7 off him.
Great.
Ride him there, give him a chance. And the Fox Hunters is a race we always like to have a run or 2. And of course, poor old David had bought Bob and Co for himself to ride this year. And of course, he's one of the favourites, and he can't ride him, which is extremely sad. But luckily, he said to us, get on and run him. I'll be able to get back on him after Cheltenham. So I think he'll run very nicely too.
So you're walking to the car on Friday night. What constitutes a satisfactory week at Cheltenham for Paul Nicholls?
I think if you've had a winner, I've always said that. If you've had one winner, that's fantastic. Anything on top of that is a bonus. I've always sort of gone into it with that sort of thing. And often it's always, you know, you have a frustrating week and you end up going to the last day with a winner. And it's often, I don't know why, we've always been strongest on the last day, so it can be a bit of a long week. But I think anybody would say you've had one winner at Cheltenham is fantastic. And anything on top of that is a bonus. But I'd also say the most important thing to me, probably more than us having winners, is that all the horses you run come back safe and sound, are in their boxes, looking forward to running in a fortnight or 3 weeks' time. We're going to Aintree. That's a big winner to me.